Warmest greetings to all basketball enthusiasts. Given the packed NBA lineup, we've split our daily game predictions into two engaging sections for ease of access. Delve into both parts, available in both Spanish and English, exclusively on our Tips and Streams YouTube channel. Get ready for the detailed breakdown of today's exciting matchups. The first today's prediction is for matchup between Washington Wizards and Cleveland Cavaliers. Tonight's showdown has the Washington Wizards dribbling into the court against the Cleveland Cavaliers at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The Wizards, hustling with a tough 626 stat sheet, are hitting the hardwood as underdogs against the Cavaliers' solid 18-15 lineup. But don't count them out just yet. Despite their rough season, the Wizards have been scrappy against the spread, proving they're no easy layup. The Wizards are shooting hoops with style, ranked 8th in the NBA for nailing 48.3% of their field goals. Their three-pointers are dropping at 35.46%, and their assist game is strong, averaging 27.69 per match. But they're getting benched on defense, bottoming out in opponent points and assists. Watch out for Daniel Gafford and Tyus Jones. Gafford's a sharpshooter in field goal percentage, and Jones is dishing assists with minimal turnovers. On the Cavaliers side, they're dribbling through some injury hurdles. With stars like Darius Garland and Evan Mobley sidelined, they're feeling the heat. But Donovan Mitchell and Jarrett Allen are the Cavs' heavy hitters, stealing the spotlight in steals and field goal stats. Their field goal average is a close 47.24%, just a step behind the Wizards. But they're rebounding like pros, averaging 44.06 per game. The bet stats are a toss-up. The Wizards are coming up strong against the spread lately and historically shine in January. The Cavaliers, though, are clutch when they're the moneyline favorites, snagging wins in 2/3 of those games. In the past 10 face-offs between these two, the Wizards clinched half, both in wins and against the spread. But in Cleveland, the Wizards only managed 2 wins and spreads in the last 5. Considering the current dynamics and injury news, the Wizards might stumble in snagging a win, but they're poised to beat the spread. So, here's the play-by-play. With the Cavaliers down some key players and the Wizards showing grit, especially against the spread, this game's looking tighter than the stats hint. Betting-wise, I'm backing the Washington Wizards to beat the spread, even though the Cavs might snatch the home win. I'm all in on the Wizards with a +10. The next prediction is for the match between Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. The Milwaukee Bucks are balling out this season with a stellar 24-9 record. They're dominating the hardwood, dropping an average of 124.97 points per game. Their shooting is on point with a field goal percentage of 50.14%, and they're nailing it from downtown, boasting a 38.39% success rate from the three-point line. On the rebounding front, they're snagging an average of 44.53 boards per game, and their assist game is strong, dishing out 26.25 assists per game. The Bucks are a juggernaut, especially considering their recent trend of soaring over in 11 of their last 16 matchups and their solid straight-up performance in recent play. Switching gears to the Indiana Pacers, they're holding their own with an 18-15 record. They're edging past the Bucks in scoring, averaging 126.03 points per game. They're shooting slightly sharper, with a field goal percentage of 50.47%, and they're just a bit better from the three-point line at 38.59%. However, they're trailing in the rebound department, averaging 39.75 per game. Their assist numbers are top-notch, outdoing the Bucks with 30.69 per game. The Pacers are showing up strong, going 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games and crushing it at home, with the total going over in 11 of their last 14 home games. Head-to-head, these teams have clashed 4 times this season, with the Pacers clinching 3 wins and covering the spread in those matches. In their last 10 face-offs, the Bucks have won 6, but only covered the spread in 4. In their recent 5 games in Indiana, the Bucks have taken 4, but only covered the spread in 3. Injury-wise, the Bucks will miss Jay Crowder, while Thanasis Antetokounmpo and Marjon Beauchamp are up in the air. The Pacers might be without Bruce Brown and Andrew Nembhard. Weighing the current form, stats, and rivalry history, it's shaping up to be a nail-biter. The Pacers have the home court advantage and a slight upper hand in scoring and shooting accuracy, which could be tough for the Bucks to counter. All things considered, I'm calling a tight win for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm betting they'll also cover the spread, given their history of performing well in Indiana against the Pacers. In short, this game's a tough call, but my money's on the Milwaukee Bucks to take it and beat the -2.5 point spread. Remember, betting involves risks and should be done responsibly. Bet smartly. The next prediction is for the match between Oklahoma City Thunder and Atlanta Hawks. The Thunder, soaring with an enviable 23-9 record, are tearing up the court this season. Their stunning average of 121.29 points per game is a testament to their offensive might. But their prowess isn't limited to scoring alone. Their field goal accuracy is a robust 49.84%, paired with an admirable 39.09% in three-pointers. These figures show a team that's confident and versatile, adept at racking up points both inside the paint and from beyond the arc. On the other hand, the Hawks, despite a less than stellar 13-19 record, are still forces to be reckoned with on the scoreboard, netting an average of 122.19 points per game. Their field goal and three-point percentages, 47.03% and 37.10% respectively, are respectable, though they trail slightly behind the Thunder's stats. A key strength for Atlanta lies in their rebounding game, where they average 44.59 per game, surpassing Oklahoma City's 41.03. Moving to recent trends in history, the Thunder are on fire, boasting a perfect 5-0 against the spread in their recent 5 games and a similar 5-0 straight up in the same span. Their performance on the road is particularly noteworthy, with an impressive 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 away games. However, their track record against the Hawks in Atlanta isn't as strong, with only 2 wins out of the last 6 games. The Hawks, in contrast, are battling inconsistency. They've missed the mark in covering the spread in their last 5 games and have a concerning 0-11 against the spread record in their recent home games. This, along with a 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games, highlights a team struggling to find its rhythm. In direct matchups, the Thunder have clinched half of their last 10 games against the Hawks, but have only managed to cover the spread in 4. In Atlanta, the Thunder have tasted victory just once in their past 4 visits, covering the spread twice. A key element in tonight's matchup is the Thunder's back-to-back game situation. Remarkably, they've triumphed in all 3 of their back-to-back games this season, showing remarkable endurance. Nonetheless, playing without rest is a tricky affair, particularly against a well-rested Atlanta team. Injuries also play a crucial role. The Thunder are in top form with no injuries, which could give them an edge. The Hawks, however, might miss key players Okongwu and Lundy, who are questionable, while Hunter is definitely out. As for the betting odds, the Hawks are the favorites, despite the Thunder's superior record and form. This is likely due to the Hawks' home court advantage, their urgent need for a turnaround, and the Thunder's potential weariness from consecutive games. In summary, although the Thunder have shown remarkable strength, particularly in away games, the combination of the Hawks' desperation and Oklahoma City's possible fatigue shifts the balance. My bet is on the Atlanta Hawks to clinch a crucial win and cover the plus 2-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Brooklyn Nets and Houston Rockets. The Brooklyn Nets are in the midst of a tough stretch, boasting a less than impressive 15-18 record. Their game's been off the mark, clearly seen in their hefty defeat to the Thunder. Even with a powerhouse like Mikal Bridges dropping buckets, the Nets can't seem to find their rhythm, hitting a mere 38% from the field in their recent showdown. They're averaging 115.6 points a game with a field goal rate of 46.4%, but they're fumbling on both offense and defense, especially in back-to-backs and away games. Flip the script to the Houston Rockets. Sitting at 16-15, they're a step ahead. Their triumph over the Pistons was a high-scoring affair, racking up 136 points with a sizzling 56% shooting accuracy. Stars like Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green are the linchpins of their squad. With their solid defense and the home court edge, sporting a 13-5 home record, the Rockets are on a roll. Head-to-head, the Nets have the upper hand against the Rockets, clinching 7 wins in their last 10 matchups. Yet, they've only beaten the spread in 4 of those. In their past 5 visits to Houston, the Nets have come out on top 3 times. But remember, the Rockets excel at home after a win, covering the spread in 7 of their last 8 such games. Injury updates are game changers. The Nets are down Ben Simmons and Lonnie Walker, while the Rockets are without Dillon Brooks. These benchings could be game deciders. Weighing all these stats and trends, the odds tilt in favor of the Houston Rockets. They've got a tight defense, a strong home game, and are well rested, unlike the Nets who falter in consecutive games and on the road. I'm placing my bets on the Rockets to snatch the win and beat the -6-point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Toronto Raptors and Memphis Grizzlies. As the Toronto Raptors gear up for their showdown with the Memphis Grizzlies, there's a lot riding on the outcome. The Raptors, sporting a 13-20 record, have been a mixed bag. They're dropping a cool 114.0 points per game and boasting a respectable field goal average of 47.5%. However, they're struggling from beyond the arc and at the charity stripe, which could hurt them in the long run. Their assist numbers are through the roof, showcasing some slick ball movement and unselfish play. But they need to tighten up on turnovers to maximize their scoring threat. Pascal Siakam, a key player, is on fire with an average of 21.9 points and 6.6 boards per game. On the other side, the Memphis Grizzlies, sitting at 10-22, are finding the going tough. They're netting an average of 106.8 points per game, but their shooting from the field is a bit off the mark at 43.7%. Their defense is a mixed bag, solid in shot blocking, but could be a liability against foul-drawing teams like the Raptors. The Grizzlies have been stumbling, especially in back-to-back games, losing 4 out of their last 5 in such scenarios. Looking at recent trends, the Raptors have been unpredictable, but have shown flashes of brilliance, especially on their home court. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, are fighting hard in away games and staying competitive against the spread, though their overall performance against betting odds is hit or miss. Head-to-head, the Raptors have been dominating, taking down and covering the spread in 7 out of their last 10 face-offs against the Grizzlies. In Memphis, the Raptors are undefeated in their last 4 visits, which, combined with their strong showing against Western Conference teams, might tilt the scales in their favor. Injuries are also a game-changer here. The Raptors are down 1 Christian Koloko, while the Grizzlies are without Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, shaking up their rosters and game plans. All things considered, it's a tight call, but the edge might just go to the Memphis Grizzlies in this matchup. It's going to be a nail-biter, with each team bringing its A-game. Wrapping up, the Raptors have an edge with fresh legs and new additions like Barrett and Quickly, but their away record is a concern. For the Grizzlies, it's a back-to-back game at home, facing an average home team against a struggling road squad. My money's on the Grizzlies to snag a win and beat the modest spread. I'm betting on the Memphis Grizzlies with a -1.5. The next prediction is for the match between New Orleans Pelicans and Minnesota Timberwolves. Get ready for an electrifying showdown as the New Orleans Pelicans gear up to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at Minneapolis's Target Center. This matchup is a basketball enthusiast's dream, featuring 2 powerhouse teams, each bringing their unique flair and recent hot streaks to the court. The Timberwolves are a force to be reckoned with, boasting an impressive 24-8 record. They've been particularly unstoppable at home, securing 14 victories in 15 games. Offensively, they're a powerhouse, dropping an average of 133 points per game. Defensively, they're just as formidable, holding opponents to 107.5 points on average. Their sharpshooting skills and three-point prowess have been key to their success, not to mention their rebounding abilities, which are neck and neck with the Pelicans. The Pelicans, sitting at a respectable 2014, have been no slouches either. They're hot on the Timberwolves' heels, with an average of 116 points per game, and a defensive record that's almost on par, allowing 113 points per game. Their accuracy from the field and beyond the arc is remarkable, and they've been dominant in the rebounding game. However, the Pelicans are up against a wall with a back-to-back game scenario, having hit the hardwood just the night before. This season, that's been a tough spot for them. With 3 losses in 4 such games, this could affect their energy and performance in this clash. The head-to-head stats lean slightly towards the Timberwolves, especially in games played at the Target Center. The Pelicans have struggled in their recent visits to Minnesota, possibly giving the home team a mental edge. Injuries could be a game-changer. The Pelicans have a few uncertain players, which might shake up their lineup and strategy. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, are in better shape health-wise, possibly giving them an upper hand. Factoring in home court advantage, recent form, head-to-head records, injury updates, and the Pelicans' back-to-back game challenge, my bet is on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Despite the Pelicans' talent and their recent 14-point triumph over the Timberwolves, Minnesota has shown they're a playoff-caliber team, especially at home where they've dominated 14 out of 15 games and covered the spread 9 times. My money's on the Timberwolves to clinch the victory and beat the 6-point spread.